What's up, everyone? This is Clifton Miles, founder of ToneCrate and co-owner of Stone Creek Sound in San Antonio, Texas. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the KHE Audio Electronics 8x4 amp cab selector. Now, this device is my favorite new product that I have in the studio, and I really don't know how I live without it. We would spend hours and hours along the course of the year just moving speaker cables from the back of one amp to another, unplugging guitars from the front of an amp and into another, and it just became a really time-consuming process that made it not so fun. And the KHE Audio Electronics amp switcher actually solved that problem, and so I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it works. So when you turn the device on, the first thing you'll notice is that it goes through a process where it recognizes which cabs are plugged in right now. Currently we have one cab plugged in, and you can tell because this little light right here is a dim red. That means there's one cab plugged in. If I had 4 cabs plugged in, they would all be 4 dim red. So to select a cab, you just hit the little switch and boom, now we're having that one cab selected. And we need to pick an amp now. So you'll see there's 8 different inputs for amps and 4 different inputs for cabs. So let's start by selecting number 1. That's the Fortin Meshuggah. And just as easy, switch down to the Bogner Uberschall. Number 3, the dual rectifier. Number 4, Crank Rev 1. And number 5, PV5150. All in the blink of an eye. Just that easy. You can also go 6, 7, or 8, just as quick. The cool thing about this and the way that it works is that each amp is plugged into it on both sides. So the front of the amp is plugged into the switcher, the back that goes to the cab is plugged into the switcher, and there's one output for the cab for each of the 4 channels that goes to the cabs directly. So you can switch between any amp or cab variation. So if there was more cabs plugged in, you could just as easily audition the cabs as you're switching through the amps. So it's really cool. The way that it works technically is the guitar plugs straight into the front of the device right here, just as it would the front of your guitar, and all the amps are plugged in, turned off of standby, and then you're just ready to go. So when your guitar plugs in here, you select the amp, select the cab, and you start rocking. It's really, really easy. One of the cool benefits of this device that I didn't even know was going to be a benefit is that since we're so quickly able to audition the different tones, we're actually able to make the amp sounds compete against each other. So not only is this saving me time, but it's actually yielding me a better sounding guitar tone overall because of how quickly we're able to switch between all of them. So I'm super excited about it. As far as the technical aspects of it, you might be asking, well, like, how does it know, which amps are plugged in, which cabs are plugged in? How do I know it's safe? Well, the cool thing about this is that KHE Audio Electronics actually designed this device with a smart switching system. So it has internal dummy loads so that you never have the possibility of burning an amp out. You can only select a cab if a cab is plugged in, so there's no chance that you could inadvertently just play into an amp and have it blow because it doesn't have a place to send the load. It has all that stuff built in. You don't have to worry about it. It does it all for you. It even has an internal muting system, so there's no clicks and pops when you're changing through channels. So it's very simple. You just switch through any sort of amp sequence that you want with any sort of cab sequence that you want, and you're ready to go. It's really brainless. There's nothing to it, and it's brilliant, and I would never live without it. It also has an extra capability that I've yet to play around with, but it has MIDI capability. So you can have a MIDI switcher, so you could actually switch from your desk, so you don't have to stand up and actually touch the switch. You can also, from my understanding, automate the MIDI as well. So you could set it up to automate between different amps live with a MIDI setup. So it's pretty cool. So all in all, if you are a studio owner, if you have a large collection of amps and cabs, if you are just a guy that loves making profiles or loves guitar tones in general, I would highly suggest you pick up one of these amp switchers. They're an absolute lifesaver, and I'll never work with without one ever again.